Hello, everybody. Welcome into JD and the Rod, America's Best Soccer Show, a very special quarantine watch-along series edition of the show. Happy to be joined by my partner, my best friend, Jared Dubois, sitting there in his JD and the Rod t-shirt, repping the brand. Appreciate it. As always, Nikki Soup and Sausage is here with us on the ones and twos out there in Ohio. And we have a special guest tonight. I'm so excited. Rob Stone from Fox Sports is on the Zoom with us. He's doing the quarantine life thing too. Rob, how are you, man?
We're great. Thanks for having me, guys. I needed something to break up this boredom and yelling at my kids that I homeschool for 7 hours a day.
Oh, yeah, we're all in the same boat on teachers, right? Teachers are heroes. They deserve all the money in the world, right?
Yeah. Especially when you have 4 kids. They're extra heroes.
Rob.
Jeez.
Rob.
So, Rob, ask you a question, man. 1998, honestly, have you seen this footage since 1998? And do you have any idea what we're about to watch?
Parts of it I've seen. The All-Star Skills Challenge is kind of like one of those ghosts that you hear about, and every once in a while it reappears and you watch it. And the thing that usually gets played the most, at least is fed to me, is kind of that opening segment of me explaining the rules and demonstrating everything. But it made so much sense back in 98 to do something like this. But when you watch it back, you look at it and say, boy, I wish we had self-scouted this tape a little bit more before we put it onto a broadcast. And maybe we could have probably refined a few things. Plus, can you imagine the agents watching guys like Brian McBride flying their bodies all around?
Yeah.
Saying, no, we're not doing that in the middle of the season. No way. I'd rather have you skydive than do the All-Star Skills Challenge.
Yeah, no, I imagine that was part of the experience. I do think I like the Gonzo kind of vibe. I mean, it's so 90s, and Jared was very excited just for the 90s aspect of this.
Well, the graphics, right? Everything about it. Yeah, you're right.
I just love that you're in baggy shorts with a big swoosh, and like everyone's hair is a wave, and everyone's hair is longer in the back than the front. It's a great time for MLS soccer. Those of us that were around for it back then. So, question for you: do you even remember? On the screen right now, you can see the 5 things. Do you even remember what Golazo was?
Golazo was the thing where you were at the mercy of your assist man. So somebody was chipping balls into you, right? And it was up to you in some type of highlight type fashion to hammer it into the goal. And I think I remember about the only stipulation I remember from that is it doesn't have to be on goal, which to me kind of goes off of everything. So in a sense, it's telling you, sacrifice your body, throw yourself around, just try to avoid paralysis. If you make contact with the ball, who cares where it goes? As long as it looks sexy, you, my friend, are going to get some points from. I don't even know who the judges are anymore. Right. That was a good one. I can't remember who the judges were.
Sounds like
a Thomas Rongen might have been involved there.
Well,
maybe
he was all over the place back then. But it sounds like a dunk contest where it doesn't matter if you make the dunk.
100%, yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty much what it was. So I wish this could have gone on like a couple more years because guys would have maybe gotten to the point where they look forward to Golazo and they're like, I'm going to bring in a trampoline. I'm going to do a cartwheel and then jump over Ben Olsen and do a bicycle kick.
I'm not sure jumping over Ben Olsen is all that impressive, to be honest with you.
Richie Williams, right? Everybody would start with Richie Williams and then work their way up.
Absolutely,
Richie Williams is the Spud Webb of the All-Star Challenge. He's just like doing every aerial move that you can think of.
Obviously, we're here because by the grace of some guy on YouTube, this is on the internet. This says MLS All-Star Skills Challenge 98 and 2001. Now, there's no 99 or 2000. It's just 98 and 2001. But we've determined, based on a pre-viewing of this, that almost the entirety is 1998, which is where Rob was hosting in Orlando. I'm guessing at the Wide World of Sports, it was all the Disney ABC tie-in, right?
Yeah, the Disney Wide World of Sports, the All-Star game that year was at the Citrus Bowl. It was the MLS All-Stars versus the World All-Stars, and you immediately know you're in a different time just looking at the MLS match ball and all that beautiful green and blue and the miter. Man, it brings back good memories, doesn't it?
The only downside is that this was before Goalkeeper Wars was invented. And Goalkeeper Wars to this day is my favorite All-Star Skills Challenge that no one knows what it is, but it's amazing.
I like how you're talking about something we're not going to see, Jared. That's so Jared.
It's honest, though.
No, it is.
This is good. This is fleshing things out for future editions of the MLS All-Star Skills Challenge.
There you go.
They should have a keeper wars, but it should not involve keepers. No, John Harkes and I had a classic keeper war battle that we would do after our coverage of the 2002 World Cup in Charlotte, North Carolina. We would do our morning studio in North Carolina time via, Japan and Korea. So our schedules were all messed up, and we would get off work. We found a field at some like Catholic school that was empty, and we took as many soccer balls as we could find, and we would play for like an hour plus goalkeeper wars, just rifling half volleys at each other. Yeah. It was a beautiful summer.
Rob's doing at the peak of his.
Who wins the non-goalie goalkeeper wars between yourself, John Harkes, and Mike McGee?
Ooh.
McGee. Or can we throw Eddie Gavin in while we're at it?
Sure. Yeah.
I'd probably give it to McGee just because of youth.
There you go.
That's actually a nice topic for a later show, especially considering everything that's not happening right now. Jared is picking out the current MLS player. We think that the current MLS outfield player who would make the best goalkeeper. Actually, we should be talking about that at some point. I'm itching to push play. Can I push play so we can see?
For the love of God, hit play.
Here's Rob Stone in action again, introducing us. The 1998 MLS All-Stars. Oh, we got to get through the ad. Sorry. I didn't realize we were going to have to do through that. Such a disaster. We could have been doing that. All right, here we go. Nope, this is ad number 2.
I like this one from Liberty Mutual. This guy should be in more ads.
Hair.
He's got great hair. He totally nails the actor look. All right, here we go.
Okay, here we go. Bullseye.
You're about to see some good Rob Stone.
This I love the shorts, Rob. Those are classic 90s soccer shorts, right?
I owned them.
They're three sizes too big by current standards, right?
And a huge swoosh, like where a tramp stamp should be, basically. And it's complemented by an odd polo shirt.
I was going to say.
A polo shirt and Nike nylon mesh shorts. And
Fantastic.
then I have my socks rolled down so low, and I'm wearing a watch. I don't know why I have a watch on, but I'm wearing a watch. There it is on my left hand. This is what, the long distance kick?
Yeah, long distance. This is full on swing, and it
is a full on swing. Like I think my hip flexor is still damaged from swinging.
I was gonna say the amount of effort you put in. I mean, I know you were at your physical peak back in '98, Rob, but I'm just asking. Yeah. Like I can see maybe you're taking a deep breath there.
I was not laying it up, man. I was bringing it for sure. Is this rapid fire? Is the one? Yeah. I'm watching these shots. I'm like, there's no way I could strike a ball this hard, this straight, and this much on target from that distance at this day and age. And then I don't know who this keeper is. For a flash, I thought it was Mark Doherty, but now I can't tell.
I'm enjoying the hair sweep before you take your.
You got to do the hair sweep.
Got to get the hair sweep.
It was hot. It was humid. It was July in Orlando. In the afternoon, they're like, Stone, go out in this non-wicking polo shirt and odd shorts and go strike power shots. This is the one where you're gunning and ripping it.
Yeah, this is
a speed gun.
Oh, I like the you got to round the ball. I love how you round the ball. That is perfect. It's beautiful technique right there.
So Rob, just to fill people in. So obviously, one of the things when I watched this the last night, kind of looking at it, it's obvious that you've
hit pause before Galazzo. I mean this is like the Emmy Award part of right?
But it's obvious, dude. Like as someone who's played my whole life too, like you have the gait and the cadence of a run of approaching the ball, where you can tell you've played ball in your life. I think maybe a lot of people think that a lot of sports announcers or commentators they get in because they're sports guys, not necessarily this sport guy.
Well,
can you talk to people about like what your soccer background was?
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's obvious you played.
Yeah. I'm totally in that position and the one I sit in right now because I was a soccer guy. We're talking, obviously this was 98, but I got my first crack at ESPN being on air in, I think it was like 96, 97. And back then, you remember, soccer was so far from a priority in sports programming. Nobody cared about it. It was basically just checking a list. My former coordinating producer at ESPN, among his responsibilities was bull riding, Scholastic Sports America, and soccer, right? These days, soccer is a full-time job. That's 24/7 year-round job. Back then, it was like, and do some soccer, right? Because there's just so little of it. So when the openings came for people to talk about soccer, there was no talent pool. There was, like you couldn't go watch MLS games right now and say like, hey, that young guy or gal over there's got some talent. Maybe we call her up to the big leagues. There was no minor league, right? It happened to be the fact that I had a connection from my early years out of college as a production assistant at ESPN with a guy who was a boss and who knew I liked soccer. I continued to cover soccer when I was making my steps through Albany, Georgia, and through Tampa, Florida. And I would come back to Connecticut, my home state, and I would show him tapes. I'm like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Any thoughts? And so just that connection, he called me one day in Tampa. He's like, you're hired for a job, Worldwide Soccer. I don't know if you guys remember that show. That's really going back. And then that just kind of led to the next step, to the next step, to the next step. So again, there were so few people. It was like JP Delacamera, Ty Keogh, Seamus Mallon. I don't even know where they found Phil Shane, to be honest with you. Phil, the first voice of MLS. I have no clue where he came from. I mean, obviously I know who he is now, but back then I don't know who Phil was.
Right.
You know, obviously you knew the other guys, right? Bob Lee. You knew a little bit of Jack Edwards, but you remember Jack was later. Jack was
2001, 2002.
Yeah, that Jack was in the 2000s. That was, I can't remember if that was before or after the Dave O'Brien experiment. But again, it was just such a tiny talent pool to pull from. And then the other part was the analysts. There weren't too many analysts. Obviously, Ty and Seamus were the main two, right? And then the rest was just waiting for these guys to retire, waiting for Ronaldo, Ramos, Harks, Lawless, Miola, Kobe. Everyone was just waiting for these dudes to retire because they were immediately going to get thrown into the broadcast booth, no matter how good they were, because they had recognition, they had brand built in already, because nobody else did in this country.
So when they tell you that you're going to demonstrate these skills, are you stoked or are you terrified?
Oh, fired up. Are you kidding me? Do I look frightened?
No, you look like you're about it.
Yeah, he looks like he's
I was all in. But, you know, with moments like this, too, you also realize that it's not like a 3 or 4 take deal. It's ideally nail it and go, because dudes are just dripping wet right now trying to bang this out.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
that was like the only stress I had was, I think it was like the power shot, or I was giving an example of like Tamak Suarez or like John Hartz does. All I had to do was remember rules, try to complete the activity, and tease the guy who's going to give us a pro demonstration.
And you're not out of breath, so testament to you at that point. Not out of breath in any of these things.
I'm not running by any stretch either. I'm not doing like a 4-yard build-up to smack the ball.
But as you said,
I loved it. Soccer's been a part of my DNA since, you know, I was I think I started in right around kindergarten in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and it's always been with me. And I do love reflecting back on these type of moments. My wife particularly loves it because she'll go, stop, pause. She's like, oh, look how cute you were. Look it's always past tense because I'll look at it like now.
Now, you don't look like you're stressed too much physically, which again is a testament to your fitness at the time. I just was thinking though, like how many guys who weren't ex-pros, because you might see Kirk Herbstreit throw a football on the set of College Game Day or something, but how many non-ex-pros who are doing broadcasts are able to demonstrate anything in the sport? Like, I can't think of another one. Can you think of another one, Jared?
Well, but soccer's unique in that there are, to Rod's point, there weren't a bunch of pros laying around that they could do commentating or analysts.
Yeah, no, sure. That's what I'm saying. Like the fact that Rob Stone could make this all look legit, having not been a former professional soccer player, when every other sport relies on their pros to demonstrate anything remotely physical, is impressive. I'm giving Rob a big compliment.
So but the move's coming, Rob. The move.
Are we ready for this?
Yeah.
Are we ready? We're built up to this. This is Galazzo, which you've
This is Galazzo. This is on my Emmy reel if I was ever going to be given an Emmy.
All right, here we go. This is Rob Stone demonstrating Galazzo.
Again, try to figure out who the goalie is, and I'm pretty sure this goes off my shin.
Well, he's okay. So, you shinned it. You did. That's tough. Come on.
Still, the form was there.
He fired it at you, and you make that moment work for the camera, Rob. That's professional. That's great.
I wish I knew who was in goal. That's driving me nuts. So there's my Brian McBride. And now I finally say we can play these games, right? Let's do it.
So
the hair really was impressive. Very Paul Caligiuri-esque. And then this shot, like, what the hell are we doing shooting this random tree?
This is like the Game of Thrones tree, the old gods.
Yeah.
By the way,
I'm trying to remember the name of the guy who was kind of our sideline reporter. He was around soccer circles for literally 3 to 5 months.
Yeah.
Dude, so many people don't know Thomas Ravelli. He was so entertaining.
Lubos Kubik.
Lubos Kubik was one of the best ever.
Yeah.
It's too bad you can't hear the audio because the camera pans to them and there's no crowd applause.
I can hear. I can crank it up a little bit if you'd like, Rob. We can just take a listen.
It's just the guys like, hello.
He's the midfielder who scored the lone goal in the MLS Cup for 1997 for
Adrian Pond.
Right there.
Adrian Pond.
Look at that hair. How good.
It's like looking back through your yearbook.
There's
that guy.
Number
Honey, that's classic honey. Who do you got coming up?
It is. This is the same place, like literally the same field where they did the skills challenge last year's All-Star game.
One of the first players in MLS with a single name.
Yeah, did he?
And the single earring.
Yeah,
Raul Diaz.
Raul Diaz Arce. There he is.
And actually, the Raul Diaz Arce, I think, is the reason why this guy clipped this. He does nothing but El Salvadorian clips and stuff. So
okay,
why,
so he put it together just so we could watch Raul Diaz Arce, and then we get to this. Was there another team? Is that how they did this?
Yeah, big Zach Thornton.
Zach Thornton.
Well, that's the best goalkeeper wars player ever.
No. Power shot is that Zach Thornton all day. All day, Zach Thornton. Jeff Agus. Yeah.
By the way, Jeff Agus's calves alone belong in the Soccer Hall of Fame.
And then Eddie Pope. Eddie Pope.
Eddie can't be bothered.
Eddie never looks.
Don't look at the camera, Eddie. Don't look at it, Eddie. Look away.
Never looks bothered. Always looks. He's the coolest dude in the room. He doesn't care about any of that.
Paul Bravo. That's the Colorado Rapids most underappreciated player ever.
Yeah, there's Preki.
Oh, Preki.
Yeah, Preki. Yeah.
Looks
one
exactly
eye
the
open,
same.
one eye closed. Yeah. We're gonna get
knows the drill.
He didn't like the camera either. None of these guys were built for this.
Nice jersey.
It isn't. He's upset that there's no cutback event.
So far, this is the most '90s haircut, right? The bleach blonde dye job, or maybe it's Brian McBride's mid part. Maybe it's that
mid part. That's like
Boy Bandy.
Boy Meets World haircut.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Kind of
By
reminds
the
me
way,
of Bex.
three members of the Colorado Rapids. Oh, Rocket Roy.
Yeah, there's Gold Dog
That dude
really
had more
lasted her.
flavor than the MLS knew what to do with back then.
No, that's for sure.
So good.
Yeah.
I was in local news in Tampa when MLS started, and I covered the mutiny. There's Hartsey. I covered the mutiny heavily, and I remember doing some pieces on like Clay Koyman, and when Lasser had that fantastic year. Oh, look at the undershirts.
Yeah.
and I don't even know what Hartsey's wearing over there.
Oh, that's some tennis
zipper.
get up, right?
It's a zip, yeah.
Yeah, is that Lacoste or is that no? It's Adidas. I think I can see Adidas, but that was the Nike period, right? So everything should have been branded Nike. Bullseye. Here we go. 3 players, 60 seconds. All right.
The FIFA franchise stole it from MLS.
Here's the thing about this challenge, Rob. These balls are not stationary, right? That makes it incredibly tough. Like, if you were just lining these shots up a la David Beckham, like maybe you got a chance at this, but they're rolling these things to them.
As a Galaxy fan from back in the day, I don't think Welton's going to do well here.
Well, you hit the first target, so...
There you go. I do remember the big concern with this event is, would we have enough of these like styrofoam targets? So remember, at some point they would obliterate, and you obviously couldn't put it back in. So
really thought it through back in the
right, exactly.
Well, 1 minute's a long time.
It is a lot. Again, you need to self-scout yourself and say, you know what, maybe a 30-second.
He's not
and
doing
you know what?
too badly.
They should have done crossbar challenge.
Ooh, yeah, they should have done that. I mean, that's the first thing every player wants to do anyway. Last year's skills challenge in Orlando, they had this whole course set up. Hit this target, hit this moving thing. There's a robot on the course. And then every player just went for the crossbar. That's all it was a crossbar challenge the entire because they gave you the most points for the crossbar. So that's all they did.
They should have like a coach's version of the crossbar challenge too, because all those guys, they always do that before, during, and after practice.
Oh, yeah.
They should also have a 5v2 competition.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
So did he run out of balls there? Was it like 60 seconds or when you ran out of balls, whichever happened?
I think it was 60 seconds.
No, I think it was just 60 seconds. Again, I don't understand why they didn't just set these things up stationary for these guys, because you're dropping the conversion rate, and then it just looks bad when they're miss. Like, and again, that's sort of the early days of MLS. Like, let's do this thing; it's a great idea, but also let's not think it all the way through.
The players, hold on. The players are like rounding up the balls. That's the level of you're at in MLS at the day.
That's a good point.
It was pre all that Sierra Mist money, I think.
Freddie Adu money.
Here's Brian McBride.
Brian looks like he just got caught off guard and somebody blew the whistle. Hey, by the way, you're right. These are tough balls to hit.
Yeah, I mean, he's not, and that's not Brian's forte, right? Curling in shots from 20 yards out. That's on Brian McBride.
He's like, you give me no keeper, I'm going to put it anywhere in there.
Yeah, he's a fox in the box kind of guy.
Not his forte, but remember, like in this day and age, it was all about just get your stars out there. And obviously a lot of stars were missing, but they're like, we got to get we got to get sexy Brian McBride.
He doesn't
there,
go
right?
over, does he?
Roll those stocks down. No, he's
He
horrible
didn't
at
get
this.
he didn't get
Oh, he got one.
contract off of this.
He got one. Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. That's what got him to Fulham, hitting that one target.
The Everton before Fulham? Or was that? Didn't he have like a loan at Everton, then went to Fulham?
I think he had a loan at. No, I don't think it was Everton. I think it was. Okay, well, I have to look this up
Joe
now.
Max Moore did.
I think he did have a loan at Everton.
Did he? Okay, maybe he did.
So.
Maybe he did. By the way, I was going to look up and see what the top movie, TV show, and song were for this day in 1998. I think it was August, beginning of August, Rob. But I didn't get to the movie and the TV show. But I know the song was "The Boy Is Mine" from Brandy and Monica. So if you're old enough, you remember when that song was out. All right, here we go. Let's get in this. All right, Mauricio Cienfuegos.
This would be the person I put my money on beforehand. I didn't see the winner of this. I put it on.
I don't think he even knows what's supposed to be happening, right? Oh, his time's running. What's going on, Mauricio? Now he's like, hey.
Oh, the practice run.
He's bitching at the referee already. Oh, man. When you were commentating, Rob, and I could turn this up and we could listen to it, but when you're actually describing this, how did that go? Like, what was going through your head?
Well, Harsey's, I love Harsey. I haven't talked to him in a while. And, he was just so easy and so comfortable and so cocky that TV worked so great for him at this stage in his life. So a lot of it was kind of setting him up about who these guys are, talking about the style, and then basically just trying to take the piss out of these guys at some point, right? We're having some fun, having some laughs, but I do think, when dudes are missing constantly and they're kind of put in a bad spot, if I remember correctly, Harsey did kind of go out of his way to stress how difficult this was for even the best to have some success at this. And that's one of those things, and you guys touched on it. It's one of those things that you guys learn, like, hey, we got to make these dudes look good.
Right.
And whether it's stationary balls or, whether it's probably like a jugs machine for the flighted balls for Golazo.
Man,
Mauricio got the same amount of targets as the guys before him, but he was so much more dialed in on those upper 90s that almost hitting them than the guys before him.
But Mauricio Cienfuegos looks like everybody's coach when they were 10 years old. That comes in and runs the camp, and you can not really understand him, but he knows a ton about soccer.
What does Ross Pauly look like? He's
about 311.
Yeah, he did. He's a 311 band reject.
That's good.
That's absolutely true. How many necklaces does Pauly have on right now? Is he wearing anything? Because if he's not,
Lassiter definitely had some.
Of course, that's how the dog goes. Yeah, the dog rolls with chains. Ross Pauly is remind me. I feel like it was Creighton University.
Okay, the Blue Jays.
I think so, and I'm trying to remember where his hometown was. I don't even know if he might have been an Omaha, Nebraska guy or.
Wow, that would be a bit of an upset at the time. Yeah, there was. I mean, obviously Creighton's in Omaha, but
right.
you don't think of the soccer hotbed, Omaha, Nebraska, not necessarily.
Remember how many guys came through Creighton? Remember how hot Johnny Torres was? Torres was a Creighton guy, wasn't he? Or maybe it was SMU.
That whole area right there. That whole area of on the East Coast up in that area had a fantastic run of players. I mean, obviously UVA started it all, you know, and but a lot of is that the AC? I'm sorry, I'm on the West Coast. I don't know. I don't watch college sports. What is that SEC?
What school?
It was in soccer and still isn't in the SEC. ACC is Virginia.
ACC.
Yeah, ACC. Yeah, that's the one of the big soccer conferences. All right, who we got? Who we got here?
We're still doing this. Raul Diaz Arce.
Yeah, Diaz Arce. And it looks like, all right, he's dialed in. He's been watching. He's been like,
okay.
okay.
So I'm not really understanding this. I think you have 60 seconds to knock off all four?
I guess, because you can only hit them once. Now. You can only hit them once. So once they're down, as you said, you can't. It's not like you're getting points. It's just
the problem is they keep feeding them on the edge of the arc. Like they should be playing this in the middle of the arc, so you have equal opportunity to turn you have to turn your hips so far to get that far post.
Yeah.
Like you really can only play the front post.
Well, I'm wondering how many took control of this and said, "Okay, I want the ball here," or if there are like, "Oh no, you have to have the ball on this side of the D." Like, come on.
I'd be better if this was volleys.
Heidi's assisting him. How about that? Yeah, because it was some just random jabroni with T-shirt and a pencil behind his neck or head doing it for a while.
Yeah, it's not exactly throwing batting practice, like it's
I'll say this: Rod Watchalong Special and Mauricio Cienfuegos best two so far. Ross Paul was unfortunate.
So here comes Jaime. Let's see if he can. I honestly, I didn't pre-watch this to know who wins the events, Jared. I don't know if you did.
I know I didn't. I just skipped around, so I honestly don't know.
Yeah, those are just like paper targets or whatever, reinforced cardboard. They could have.
I thought those. For some reason, I thought those were the ones that disintegrated. Maybe that was another failed attempt in MLS history.
Is Preki going to be the first lefty we've seen?
Lefty.
Yeah, I don't know if this will be the first one, but let's.
Sides?
Yeah, they have to, right? You can't have the ball rolling from your right if you're a lefty.
I take it back. I'd probably take Preki over Mauricio Cienfuegos in this competition.
Oh, he's got Lassiter as the assistant. Like the last thing you expect from Roy Lassiter is an assist.
you don't think he's going to give him good balls, right? He wants to win.
Yeah, that's a good question. Are they trying to make each other look good? I mean, I bet you Roy's like, "Hey, look, this is super hard. I can't really do anything to make it even worse for him." And look at Preki. He's going all the way across, as you said, Jared. He's there. Yeah. Hey, wow, there it is. Yeah, he's got that little lean back, little slip
and
there.
Look where the cameraman's at. He doesn't really have the luxury. He has to go around a wall too.
I bet you Preki in his head is thinking, if I whip this one hard enough, I might hit the cameraman. Give me bonus points for that. Like that's absolutely possible.
Can I ask a favor for the next guy? Is it possible to listen to the commentary?
Absolutely.
So then you can rip on me and Harps and how poor our commentary is.
Let's after Preki gets done here. Leaning. Does he have one more? Okay, they're feeding him more balls. I don't know how many. We don't have it clocked, Rob.
I know. This is horrible. The shot clock should always be up. Again, this is in my post-mortem notes.
Okay.
Has anybody hit the upper 90 yet?
I think somebody did.
I feel like somebody did.
I think Welton did in the very first one. Literally the first ball. No,
it was. He hit the post in the corner.
Okay.
I remember that.
So that's Preki. He hit 2. So he's tied for the lead. Here we go. Let's turn up the audio here.
Look at Preki. He's
very buzzy.
He's a disciplined player. He knows he should have 3 or 4 there.
So all 6 competitors, 3 from Team World and 3 from Team USA, all end up with 2 targets apiece in Carlos Diaz.
You can feel the energy.
Roy Lassiter, one of the guys who's not playing in here, but I think Roy could probably knock off a few more than 2 targets.
Well, since there was a big tie, we couldn't interview all the players, so we thought we'd go with the inspirational leader. Why couldn't anybody hit the top shelf?
I don't know. Maybe because I wasn't out there hitting it.
Yeah.
There he is.
When you're sitting on the bench.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. The ball is moving, and the players have to adjust their run, so it's kind of tough to do that, especially in the upper 90s.
Okay, well, I think the best performance that we just saw was John Harkes and his imitation of some players out there. Guys?
Wow.
Thank you very much, Carlos.
We missed that.
Thanks for that plug there, buddy. I appreciate that. I know Roy Lassiter will be happy with that, shooting on target like that.
All right, Carlos now with Raul Diaz Arce.
Yeah, you feel like Roy Lassiter should have dropped a couple albums in the 90s in addition to his soccer career.
Well, he's been named the winner, but Raul...
Okay, wait, hold on. I'm going to pause
They
this.
named him the winner?
Yeah, why was he the winner, Rob? Fill us in. Do you know?
Did least amount of time for his target?
Maybe.
No clue.
So it was, and it was only 3 players from each team. So Roy didn't go. He was just...
How about this? I have no clue. Maybe he hit his 2 targets faster than everybody else hit their 2 targets. That's all I can think of. I have no idea.
Do we want to hear Raul accept his win? Let's see.
The spacing of Raul Diaz Arce's teeth is impressive.
It's tough to interview a winner when he doesn't know what you're saying. Was it a tough competition out there?
I think so. I hope the working wins.
See, that's about as much Spanish as I know.
Okay.
So, he's doing pretty well. He hopes the world team wins.
All right. I'm going to take this down.
Maybe not the right guy to interview, right? We have throw Ravelli in there, even though he had nothing to do with it.
Did they have to? They said, okay, he won, so we have to get him on camera, and then we have to have a bilingual conversation that doesn't go anywhere, or not a bilingual conversation, a broken English conversation. Oh, wow. MLS Party. That was how they were selling the league back then.
What was MLS Party? I don't remember that.
Did I just tease an MLS Party? Oh, I cannot wait to come back.
All right, so after event 1, whoa, hold on. Did we just miss the scoreboard?
Please.
We just missed the scoreboard. I'm going to have to try to, okay, give me a second. Let me see if I can go back a little bit. All right, okay, hold on, I missed it. This is difficult on the fly, but here's Raul Diaz Arce. Okay, so he gives a thumbs up. Then we get an ad for something called MLS Party. What is that? Does anybody know?
I don't remember.
That was probably like early ESPN2 back in the day when every show had a 2 in it. And
Okay, sounded like we were playing some very 90s
DC
hip hop.
United versus Dallas Burns.
Yeah. Okay. So
A Friday night game.
Hold on a
Maybe
second.
that was our marketing
So
tag.
score 65 World, 45 USA.
well, that's what I'm saying. So that's what you saw, right, Jared? I'm trying to
Yeah.
get back to that. What? Why? Does anybody know why? What is the score? What's this is
we
like?
got to keep the volume up, man. Then we know Rob Stone's doing work, and we're not giving him credit. He's
Okay.
explained it all to us, I'm sure.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's listen.
The wide world of sports, the side of our MLS All-Star Skills Challenge today, and the NFL Experience, which tests your skills all year round. Event number 2, the long distance kick.
Okay, Rob did no favors for us. He didn't explain the scoring system at all.
He probably did at the beginning.
Maybe we missed it because this video just doesn't cover it, I guess. But I'm just thinking,
Probably like 5 points a target, maybe.
That feels like an unfortunate phrasing. 3 offensive players per team.
we get a little shot of Jaime Moreno stretching for the
look at the rules.
long kick challenge.
The idea is just
You know how this is, right? Like every great player's biggest skill is how far he can kick a ball if he's not a goalkeeper. That's very
give
important.
it a boot, right? Give it a boot. Classic American soccer as a kid.
Each player gets 2 attempts 50 yards from midfield. All right, so let's see what Jaime does. here.
Tiebreaker. All right, so you want to keep it right down the line.
All this
right.
is MLS players auditioning to be NFL kickers, basically, right?
We got some great comments on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Looks like Alexi Lawless is tuning in.
Oh yeah, Alexi. Was he part of the skills
He
challenge
said-
in
he says,
'98?
"Hi Rob, do you have any TP in that bunker of yours? Just blink if you're being held against your will."
We have, as I'm sure all you guys have these Zoom sessions, Alexi, Stu Holden, and I, we have a weekly, sometimes 2 weekly Zoom session, and it's later tonight. And it is adult beverage friendly.
Oh, okay.
And boy, we
That's a gratuitous Jeff Eggers butt shot.
yeah.
There's
Look at those calves again.
That
Look at
is
those calves.
Look at the material.
impressive.
Look at the
And the
material.
MasterCard sponsorship on the thigh.
The material of these kits back then, because we
They're all
see
made out of trash bags.
they were recycling. Before Parley, we had these.
That was pretty good.
I mean, I feel like that should be impressive to me, and I think it is. I don't know why it's impressive, but it's impressive to me.
What was impressive? What I miss?
His kick.
Oh, how far it went? He kicked the ball real
Like, I
far.
don't know what good is,
This
but
is-
it
Rocking
feels
the
good.
Predators,
This
too.
is definitely the event that you
Boots, right?
sell.
Nice boots.
You sell
How does
to
the
the.
Fender need Predators, by the way?
It's a good question. You sell this to the non-soccer fans. Like, look how far these guys can kick the ball. Soccer's really good. Look at these athletes out here.
So I found this. Oh, way off target.
Way off target.
I found this interesting. I think I used to do this too. Did you notice before Jeff put the ball down? He walked back and then he kind of drilled his toes into the ground to kind of lock and load like a Roman Reigns. You come down, you punch the mat, and you're going. I used to always jam my feet into my boots by slamming it against the floor before like penalty kicks or goal kicks or corner kicks too. For some reason,
I would do it before goal kicks too, and I don't know why.
I like the bottom line is not.
I
It's,
love old school bottom line, particularly when there's news.
yeah, there's no. It's only on at certain periods, like 28 and 58 or something, right?
58, I think is what it was back then.
We didn't get it all
Wait,
the
didn't the
time.
rules at the beginning that say 3 offensive players? Why is the goalkeeper playing?
Sure did. Well,
That's,
Thomas Ravelli was always an offensive-minded goalkeeper guy.
That's true. If I remember correctly, he came up for quite a few last-minute corner
He
kicks.
did.
oh,
He did.
we got an ad in the middle of this. Sorry, guys, I didn't know we were going to be clicking over to ads
Water
halfway
break.
through. All right, let me see if I can get rid of whatever this is. Free advertising on our stream. Here's Ravelli lining up. There we go. I should have paid for YouTube Red or whatever gets you no
I
ads.
have it. I should just let you use my account.
You should have. Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you plan this better, Jared? Come
I didn't
on.
know you were poor, my bad.
Paying for lots of other stuff over here, buddy. Hey, did they just give him an extra yard? Did they mismark that? What's going on here? Controversy.
Let's hear the analysis.
Okay, let's.
And here comes the little man. Look
The
at the
little man.
size of this man.
He just felt
He wasn't born, he was chiseled.
He wasn't born. He was chiseled.
Okay, he wasn't happy with it. Actually, he's wearing his boots that he has on today are 2 sizes too big.
And how will that affect his kicking?
Well, obviously, it didn't help him in the first one. But I think his
Winston
accuracy
Cup.
is going to be better for this one, Rob.
Very astute observation. That one's going to be drifting wide as well.
Zach's got issues with accuracy.
Not bringing much to Team USA's table on that.
Well, you know, with Bob Bradley, our assistant coach, going to Chicago for this season, I know he likes to work on goal kicks quite often and loves to push him to the right. So Zach's got that in his mind. He's thinking Bob's watching.
I forgot Harks went to the Fire after DC United.
Yeah, I didn't remember that either, actually. Wait.
And Ronaldo went there for a little while too.
Ronaldo was in Chicago.
Eric did. I don't think Hartsey
No,
did.
Hartsey didn't.
Hartsey was at New England.
No, yeah, he didn't.
But he's probably talking Bob, because remember Bob was an assistant at DC.
At DC,
that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
In
Bob
the
left.
early years.
It would have been 97 because this is 98. So yeah, 97 he would have been at DC.
Year one, yeah. Year one of the Fire.
Now,
Kubik, one of maybe the most underrated defenders in MLS history, as far as we're celebrating this 25th anniversary, and that's one of those things that's kind of been annoying me a little bit, is that the people who talk about the history of MLS, they fail to go back the full 25 years.
Sure.
I feel like it's they're going back 10, maybe 15 years, that they're forgetting so many of these great names who did so much to get this league not only going, but was really tremendous talent on the field.
Oh yeah, people sometimes feel like there was nothing before 2007 when Beckham
Eddie
got
Pope.
there. Like Ante Razov didn't just ball this league for a few years.
Right, yeah. No, absolutely. I think it was maybe Greg Seltzer. Somebody wrote a piece at MLSsoccer.com I was looking at today that was literally guys you forgot played in MLS.
Yeah.
And there were some good names on it.
I contend to this day that the tandem of Damani Rolfe and Ante Razov was one of the best tandems MLS has ever seen, and people don't even know who those two guys are.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that means we're all getting old, or are old.
Probably.
I think did Eddie hit the regulation to get it in regulation? I don't know. Eddie did. I think he might have missed completely.
Look how skinny and young he is.
Well, interview time.
Okay, here we go.
The distance or the accuracy, kind of going between the pylons here.
It was neither. I closed my eyes and prayed for the best. And good Lord willing, we hope we can help the ball club today.
This is a soccer game, not a baseball game, by the way.
We're just going to take it one game at a time.
Exactly, and the good Lord willing, you hope to win this thing. Were you intimidated at all by the people that were around you, or did you just go up there and hit?
Well, I know the strength of Mr. Ravelli's foot is world class and world renowned, so I know I had some tough competition. And I knew I just had to hit it as hard as I could, because it would have been tough.
Mr. Ravelli, what do you think about that?
I tried to trick him. I say his shoelaces were open. He was looking for it, but it was
Right before I hit the ball, too.
I love
Tomfoolery going around here, guys.
I love a good goalkeeper who chooses not to shave his head. Just let the male pattern baldness settle in, and let that be your calling card. Why not?
But Ravelli came in second.
He did.
Good job, Thomas.
Yeah, Zach Thornton got 5 points.
I
That's
seem to
terrible.
remember that Thomas Ravelli maybe have been one of those goalkeepers that wore those little bicycle hats sometimes.
Did he?
The little flip-up
The little
thing.
flip-up one.
Okay, hold on. I need to pause.
I think he actually wore just a normal baseball hat.
Was that it?
Because the sun at the sombrero, the old sombrero back then, coming over one of the end zones could be absolutely brutal. Rapid fire.
Yeah, can you remember how this one go? I mean, we saw you demonstrate earlier.
Yeah, this is the ball it's right around that semicircle at the top, and they're stationary balls. There it is. Scores many goals in 20 seconds. Keeper, but you're going against a keeper.
You're going against a keeper.
Yeah. So I guess does the keeper get points for the other team?
I don't think that's part of
It's a
this.
stock keeper, maybe.
Is this a pool keeper? Some guy off the street, maybe? Some college kid from Florida playing soccer for Southwest?
University of Tampa. Young David Winter called in and hit I-4. All right, so 2 for a goal and then 5 with the bonus. The always exciting bonus ball.
Bonus ball.
I'm assuming that's the red one.
Well, I see multiple red
Gotta be
balls.
different. Yeah, I think those are cones. Those red things. Maybe they are
Are they?
balls. I can't tell that.
Well, let's find out, guys. Who's up first? Who's up first here?
Let's learn together.
Who's up first? I can't really. Is that a Rapids
That
player?
looks like that's Adrian Paz. Is that Paz?
Adrian Pass. Okay, let's listen in a little bit to some rapid fire.
Top of the arc, the idea, score, and do it quickly.
Now I think
The goalkeepers must stay within the 6-yard box, but they can't.
is this
receive
video
25
changing your
bonus
voice,
points
Rob,
for
or
the
was
team,
that how it sounded?
depending on their performance.
It was puberty.
Strategy involved in this, Rob. I would think that the
Oh, Zach.
point ball.
Is that Zach Thornton goal? Yeah.
Well, just like that, and maybe lob the other
So,
one.
U.S. keeper versus
Paz has got Zach Thornton on the run right
Their
now.
goal.
We can't really.
There's some poor effort in the beginning.
Okay.
kind of rough on the keepers, man.
They go fast enough that the keeper gets thrown off to a side, can't recover. It's obviously difficult. I think I think in the beginning when Rob was demonstrating, they cut to a shot of Tony Miola making a double save and said goalkeepers have to do this or whatever. But we couldn't tell when he was scoring because that camera angle behind the goal really didn't get wide enough, did it? Like, how many did he score? Does anybody know?
Nope.
No,
I didn't see
no
a
idea.
tally.
Let's see.
We'll get a graphic at the end of the next segment.
Colorado to recover so quickly from that injury. He seems to be injured here. He's hobbling a little bit, but he's
Okay, wait. He got 14 points. 14. So do we remember the math?
Well, there's the ball, the red ball too, or the
2 and 5.
Okay.
Yeah, bonus ball was 5, any goals 2. I can't believe I was able to retain that.
All right, see who's next.
Still remember the copy after all these years.
Yeah, it's still in your head.
Card!
Adrian Paz. Oh. All right, so Thomas Ravelli is in goal now, and it's Ross Paul.
Paul's lunch.
Okay.
Just tuck him on in there.
Exactly. Try to
2 fastest goals in MLS history. Wow.
And
He scored twice in a minute and 7 seconds. Okay, all right.
It's all about strategy these days. Up first for Team USA, Ross Paul.
Oh, yeah, they're shooting
also
those
from
red
Colorado. Taking on Thomas
Ravelli hasn't hit the ground yet. Oh, there you go.
first good strike by Ross. Oh, he's got the ball.
Oh, no, he's
all
killing
over.
it.
Wow, look at this. Wow, look at this. Wow.
That's classic. It was going one direction and fired it the other way. They figured this one out.
Brian McBride likes it.
All right, Thomas right on.
Wow, that was pretty strong right there. He did. He had to go. He had to move
Pepsi,
it.
Snickers. These are good sponsors back in the day. Like what's Snickers pyramid scheme these days? Do they have one? Because is that why they're not on the New Jerseys right now?
Yeah, it feels like MLS. I don't know what they were getting from those sponsorships, but they brought back the sleeve sponsor, right? We're gonna have some of those. We have any this year? We have a couple, right?
Connie Moreno's already going.
Bandai. Look at that, Bandai.
Right. Well, I don't even know what Bandai is. What do they make?
Video games. Video games, I think. Or
The toy games.
toys.
Yeah,
Toys.
With, like the figurines and stuff.
Yeah. The Ninja Turtles were Bandai, I think.
Were they? Okay. Yeah. There's
It would
Jaime.
always be sponsors of Double Dare, like the prizes, the packages at the end, made by Bandai.
Brought to you by Bandai.
Ooh, nice strike there. Yeah, huh?
See how many points Jaime got? I didn't count them. I wasn't.
12.
That's the other thing. It moves so fast because it's rapid fire. You can't even do the math. 12 points. Okay. I don't know what Paul got. What did Paulie
I
got?
didn't see it either.
All
Let's see
right.
Paul.
Is that Doug Logan? Former Commissioner Doug Logan sitting on the bench. Did
What
you
is-
see that in the
Yeah.
bright red, orange shirt and the glasses?
Not.
Here comes the lefty.
There
Preki.
you go.
There we go.
Becky, I got to score everywhere.
Tucked away.
That.
Very first one, tucked away front post.
No points for hitting the post. Unfortunately for
Lots of woodwork for
Good
Preki.
movement, though.
Ravelli's almost got a look of disdain on his face.
Oh, he put the money ball in, and he's got Ravelli all over the place.
Did you catch Harksy's impression of Preki? He dropped that in there.
That's classic snarky Hartsey.
Classic.
Didn't
Yeah.
start off
absolutely.
as well as he would have liked, but finished very strong.
Got to give the serious analysis. I mean, it's not Harksy talking about form or
Ended
anything.
with 11 points in the rapid fire contest, which has him in 4th place after 4 competitors. There's Ravelli just steering one aside, and then Preki curling in the Dayglow orange fluorescent ball.
So there's a couple of different bonus balls in
Next,
play.
Raul Diaz Arce, the winner of the Bullseye competition. And here he is during rapid fire.
I like the combination of baggy shorts that are also 4 inches from your knee. Like that's a good look, right?
He'll be back soon.
You think so?
What are you doing, Thomas?
Finishes here.
Yeah, he's not messing up.
Constantly caught out of position. That's why I think he was only a 1 year, a one and done with the Mules.
Well, this is Thornton again, right? That was Thornton again.
Zach? All right, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll yell at Zach instead.
Well, I mean, it's humid. He's got to get up and get down. All Sport, yeah. Was All Sport the one they took off the market because there was something wrong with it?
Goal, by the way, Rob.
I don't know what it was. It's just Gatorade Light.
Gets down on the money shots.
Well, now MLS is
Did you
partnered.
say money shot on live TV?
Numerous times.
Going to win this event.
That's the beauty of doing soccer in the early days. You could get away with a lot. No one was
Trying to add to that.
There's some people in the chat. A lot of people talking about the bleached hair.
Yeah.
Rob, when you think of bleached hair in MLS, what's the first one that comes to your mind? Who's the iconic bleached blonde of MLS?
I know I'm missing somebody here.
Kind of throws you off your game.
Yeah, I have a feeling you're going to bark it at me. Moreno was that
Jaime
was past
did it.
his prime.
Yeah, but it was late.
That one.
Paul Bravo, that was yeah.
just
Was he holding his hamstring?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that's what you need. Yeah.
Am I missing
The one that's coming up a lot is Mike Petke.
Mike Petke was definitely he was the
There's
guy.
also Landon Donovan.
Landon did it too.
Yeah, but no, Petke had that going on, I think, in college when he was at
No,
Southern.
Dunny didn't fully commit. He just
did the highlights.
tips.
Yeah, the frosted
You're
tips.
right.
Yeah.
Petke was the original, and it wasn't just like pure blonde like Paul. It was kind of like a dirty blonde, like some of the black stuck in there. It had the proper Long Island attitude.
I don't know.
It got to the point where there's so many bleached dudes on the field, you only knew it was Petke because you could see the nose.
So by this point, Rob Stone is doing broadcast television. Can't go out and bleach his hair. I was a senior in high school. Raise your hand if you tried to bleach your hair in high school.
I definitely did. My senior,
I didn't, but I
pictures
should
of
have.
it.
No, I did the Sun-In, spray the Sun-In,
did you?
like
Okay.
made with lemon or something. And
Yeah.
go to Florida
Rob,
and
literally someone in the
stay
chat
under it.
Rob said, I think Rob uses Sun-In.
Yeah, great product.
They got
Got all
you.
of my money.
All right, so let's just recap here. We've had 3 events. The world is up 30 points. I don't know how that happened. I really wasn't. Somewhere along the line, they collected more points than the USA, and the fans are going wild. I mean, it's your.
Hold on a second. Is that a Metro Star jersey in the middle of that shot? I'm trying to see if there's any MLS gear.
I believe
It
so.
almost looks like mutinies written across it.
Is that a movie one?
It might.
It looks like black from my
It does look
perspective.
black, but this is bad. This is bad quality VHS
Right.
tape or whatever. We got shirtless guy here. So I don't know. How hot was this ticket, Rob? Like, do you remember a line to get in?
It was hot, but not a hot ticket. Yeah. So no, because there was that one shot that showed nothing but emptiness.
Okay, so on my own feed, I backed it up, Rob. It is mutiny.
It is.
When I
mutiny.
watched it as it moves, you can see it's mutiny.
Well, it's only a short, 2.5 hour drive over from Tampa.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Home field advantage for the Mutiny.
Yeah, absolutely.
They traveled to see Ravelli and Lassiter.
Yeah. Okay. Here we
They're all
go.
disappointed Steve Ralston was not partaking.
Well,
First
Roy.
rookie of the year.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see what Steve Ralston. Yeah.
Ralston's legit. That's another one of those players that people these days.
Yeah. Don't
25
give enough
years-
credit. Yeah.
100%.
25 years, you need to recognize that a lot of people think that Landon Donovan's the best assist man ever. Brad Evans and Steve Ralston.
Yeah, Brad
Ralston's on the. I'm trying to remember. I did my Hall of Fame ballot like the second it came out, and I think Ralston was on it. And I'm pretty sure Ralston's on it. He got my vote because I vote with different lens, and what he's done for American soccer on the MLS side.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I threw my
Yeah,
ballot out. I don't know
underrated.
if Stevie Ralston got my vote. I got to go back and look. I don't think so. I mean, I should know, right? I
By
don't
the
think
way,
I
why
did.
the dual guns? The dual speed guns.
Yeah,
These
what
guys
is-
are-
You always got to have backup. Come on, in case one gun goes down, you got to be able to rely on the left hand. The left hand goes. Come on, guys.
That's a good. That's a great established. Somebody was like, "We're getting shot from
Spare no
behind the
expense.
guns." Yeah, I do enjoy the fact that there was the old school jugs gun or whatever those are called. Because I was a baseball guy. Because nowadays you don't need any of that, right? Like it's literally just the camera can track the ball and they can figure it out with algorithms and stuff. All right, so this is power shot. This is literally just kick the ball as hard as you can, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure I'm
Pretty
understanding.
self-explanatory.
Well, so every other event to this point.
On this one, right?
By the way,
That
Rob.
would be so top 6 determined by fastest shot. Duh. Okay. All
Okay.
right.
So and then they give the points after that because every other event has had points per conversion or whatever. Like you score a goal,
so
you get a point.
They figure it out on your MPH at the down. I was curious about these speed guns. My strategy was always to drive it right at the gun because
Yeah.
I thought it would give you a better read rather than letting it float out wide. But let's see what the guys do.
Okay. I mean, Robbie,
Did you give Thornton a whack at this?
I got
100%
to.
you let Zach
You got
strike it.
to. Yeah, absolutely. Here we go.
That's our problem. All right. Event number 4, the power shot. Get out the jugs guns. These guys can be drilling it here. 8 players per team. Each guy gets 2 cracks at the net. The top 6 players determined by the fastest shot.
It's good to see they brought in the state police officer in the back of the net there, holding those guns.
Raul Arce of Team World, his first crack.
Oh, look at the
Coming
rolled
in at
socks. Look at Arce going for the rolled
He
socks.
got rolled socks. The other thing about this, I'm just thinking about it from a fan perspective. I'm all about the fan experience, guys. How do they know with just a couple of jugs guns? How do the fans in the building know how hard these guys kick the ball? Do they have any clue? Is there a
I'm trying to
board?
see if there's like a shot clock somewhere that would post the score. I have a
9
feeling.
miles per hour.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know how I would know. There it is. Maybe it's just we have it. 69.
69. So the fans have no idea what's going on. They're just kicking the ball hard, right? It's the power shot, and then just watching these guys kick a ball into the net. Okay, I mean, sure. That Revolution shirt is so hideous with the weird word mark in the middle. It's a thing. Here we go. Here's Big Zach.
Oh, the big dog. I like these committed and wearing the gloves.
Yeah, you can't take your gloves off, right? 83, right? 83 miles per hour at least. Let's see it.
72.
72? Okay. Oh, 82. I was close.
He watched this. Come on.
No, I swear to God, I did not. I'm just thinking Diaz Arce got 69. I'm like, he hit that twice as hard as Diaz Arce. Boom. Oh, he got a divot.
Watch out behind the goal.
Hey, he gets that first one. That counts, right? They don't. It's not cumulative. Like it's your best.
No, it's just your best. Yeah.
Your best.
Just the best one.
All right. He tried
I love the hoop socks. Back in the day when we were playing, and you that was the thing when you got the Nike hoop socks. Like felt like your team made it.
They're a little bit Wicked Witch of the West. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Hey, we loved them back then.
And then
was there a number on Big Zach? I didn't see an MPH on.
I just went backwards by accident.
The second one.
Yeah, the first
Right,
no.
He didn't hit the target.
He missed the target on the second one. I just accidentally went backwards in the video, so I gotta figure out where we are here.
You were at 31:51.
Okay, let me just make sure I get
That
back.
puts you at Cienfuegos lining up.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll get very, very close here. Here's Cienfuegos. He's half the size of Zach Thornton. He hit 60 miles an hour?
His second shot. His first one was 60.
Okay. He's not even going to get close to Big Zach. Come on. I mean, and he's a great player, but this is not fair.
His skill set.
Those shorts are bigger than him.
I know.
58.
He's
Did I
Look at that his quad.
Wait, hold on a second. So this is the other question. Eight
Double race hats. Nice.
8 players per team, right? Is that everybody on the team? Like, was that the entire skills challenge team?
Sounds right.
Okay. Because otherwise,
the introduction, it felt like it was 8
okay.
team.
Otherwise, I have to question the captain's choices if Cienfuegos is taking shots. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, these guys aren't even close to Thornton.
What did Paulie do?
69.
69. Oh, you're ahead of me? Or is that what's happening?
Yeah.
You're cheating. Don't watch ahead. We're watching this together.
I'll let you catch up.
It's a group activity.
I know.
There was a couple guys who were injured earlier in this event, so maybe they didn't want to do the power shot.
Maybe.
Well, who was it? Someone was holding their hamstring. I can't remember.
Yeah, Bravo was.
Paul Bravo, yeah.
He's
holding something too.
Yeah.
72.
Everyone's quad is blown out.
Wound it up a little bit. Got to 72.
72, yeah.
That's
It's
not
worth it.
bad.
It's a sacrifice.
The shorts are both wide and short.
I know. That's what I said earlier. They're draping, but they're also 4 inches from the knee because you got to show a little bit of skin. Oh my God! Look at those shorts. Look at everything draping. Oh, it has to go in the net to count. I'm guessing, right? You can't blow it over the bar.
The second one counted.
Yeah. I mean, really, he looks like he's just laboring, walking around.
Yeah,
Look at the sweat stains all over that shirt. Remember, he had to just do the not the power shot, the other thing. He was working.
Yeah.
Ravelli's like the hardest worker out there.
There you go. What do we get? Let's see what we got out of Thomas Ravelli.
74, that's my guess.
Thomas has done a pretty good job. He had a good
72. And 10 miles slower than Zach Thornton.
I think the highest so far outside of him was Paulie at 74.
I've watched Zach Thornton, retired assistant coach Zach Thornton, take shots in warm-ups before a game, and it's still incredibly impressive. It's
frightening, yeah.
scary.
Frightening.
Yeah. Eddie Pope.
That's pretty decent.
We really can't say until we find out.
71. And easy, just very fluid and smooth and,
Just look at his gait, man. The way Eddie Pope just approaches the athleticism of the game, he just always looks like it's easy for him.
Yeah. Everything is super easy for Eddie Pope. He's just an athlete. Just there. I think he kind of dragged it a little bit on that one.
So he's consistent, if anything.
Zach is holding on strong.
To drag him out there. You think Eddie really wanted to do this?
No. I think one of his sponsors made him do it, is my guess.
Here's
Eddie
Welton.
just wants to win trophies.
That's like 58. Come on. He didn't get anything.
I'm surprised that Welton and not Kobe Jones was the all-star submission for the Galaxy.
I think maybe Kobe had too much juice and didn't get sucked into it. I mean, you're not talking about a bunch of big name stars.
That's a bit painful. Yeah, dude. You know, a lot of times, particularly in the early years around these All-Star events, these guys have so many kind of side gigs through their outside sponsorships, and when they all kind of come together, they're like, man, particularly a guy like Kobe. Remember what Kobe was back then? You know, he was one of the poster boys. I'm sure he was, and you know, Wallace isn't there. You know, there's a reason that those big facial recognition dudes aren't there. They've probably been pulled in other directions to meet with
if you
provide more money to the league or to themselves.
If you were creating America's stereotype of a soccer player in the late '90s, it would be Brian McBride, right? Like that's what everybody.
McBride, Joe Max Moore, like those guys. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they would be the one like, oh, that guy's a soccer player.
His jersey look like it says MC Bride, like he's a rapper instead of McBride. There's a space there.
Like the kerning not excellent on the. That's a hideous jersey too. The crew jersey is bad.
But he's making it look good.
Oh my God! That's a classic. Now that you can bring back, and I'm into it. The Wizards, were they still the Wiz, or had they already been sued
They're
into?
Wizards still at that point.
No, they were the Wiz first. Then they were the Wizards.
Sorry, yeah, they're Wizards at this point.
Okay, so like year 2, year 3, they switched over.
Yeah, I think you see it on it. It says KC Wizards. I think.
And Power Shot is definitely not Precky's thing because Precky's all about placement. So there's no way that this is his deal.
Yeah, it says Wizards on the logo.
One of my favorite things when I was broadcasting MLS in the early days was the burn. Who was it? There was another. The burn and the fire. The Pyromaniac Special.
The Brimstone.
And somehow that's not the Brimstone Cup.
No, it is. That's why it's called the. Yeah.
Wait, I thought Rapids were in the Brimstone Cup.
No, it's Dallas and Chicago Brimstone Cup.
Oh, for some reason I thought I thought Denver was in it.
No. I don't
take that righty.
Are you saying Kubik was a lefty?
I always thought he was more lefty.
I think he's about to go lefty here. I think he's
right?
he's showing off. That's a flex. It's a nice flex for Kubik. Only guy to go up there and take shots with both feet.
And both were the same speed, pretty much.
Yeah.
He looked like he'd be a Liam Neeson impersonator.
A little bit. And Zach Thornton could have been a double in Friday. Let's just be honest about that, too. Okay.
He was a good cork one here, by the way. Did he drag his foot?
I must have.
That's the kind of thing where you do a hip flexor, man. You catch that toe when you're trying to do that.
I remember a couple years after this, we did a feature on the hardest shot in the league, and it was Greg Vanny.
Oh, yeah?
The guy that everybody said had the hardest hit, and he was with, I feel like he might have been with DC at the time, so I remember doing something with him at RFK. Did he have a little taste with DC at one point? But I remember he was the guy that everybody said hardest shot in the league.
Interesting.
Yeah, I remember he went over to France, and then he came back and came to the Galaxy, but definitely he did free kicks as a defender. I remember that.
Not a lot of guys doing that. Was it Jaime? Okay.
Not the Matt Reese free kick efforts that we're used to seeing from his glory days with the Revs.
Yeah, it looks.
I don't know why I saw that video the other day of Matt running up from his goal to take a free kick in stoppage time, down 1, and he sailed it like 20 yards over the bar.
Vanny did a spot in DC 2007, 2008.
There we go.
Right now, a late burst there by Jaime Moreno and team.
What French team do you play for? What French team do you play for?
USA, we're
hold on a
running
second.
away. You can't be a homer, buddy.
You're absolutely right. Sorry.
Bastia?
Oh,
No, that's Corsican. He wasn't in France.
Wasn't? Yeah.
No.
That's not fair. No, someone's throwing something at him from the crowd. Did you see that? No, they're distracting him.
No score because he missed the net, his second and final attempt.
So Bravo does his hammy when he goes out there to do this.
Right.
Yeah. And Bravo's got a good hair whip too, by the way.
Yeah, big hair whip on Bravo.
That's not going to win it.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, 58 update, 28-58 coming in.
Hall of Fame game. Tampa Bay. And in baseball, too. The Devil Rays back then. Yeah, there you go. There's Big Zach. There he is. Oh, get in the way of that thing. Man.
So what was the fastest time outside of him? 74 or something like that?
Yeah, I don't think anybody came within 10 miles per hour of Zach Thornton. Let's listen in.
Big, this guy's thighs are bigger than my waist, Rob. And they're bigger than your waist, too. I have to say this. But Zach, what is your secret behind having such
Shoot his
powerful
crotch
legs?
shot.
I have a big butt. I just try and get my legs and my butt behind it, and then try and hit as hard as I can.
That's the first time I've ever had an athlete admit they have a big butt on camera. What are you thinking about? What are you imagining that ball is when you kick it?
My keeper coach, and I'm really, really tired, and he's like, 4 more, 4 more. I imagine his face is on the ball, trying to hit as hard as I can.
Great job, Zach. And wait, Rob, this just in. The second ball that Zach hit over the crossbar, it just landed.
Oh, that was the first time that joke was ever made on TV in the United States, I'm guessing. That's oh, wow. This just in bits on your broadcast, Rob. That's fantastic.
By the way, arena football scores. Rest in peace.
Oh, yeah. I used to watch a lot of that back in the day, back in high school.
Great. It was entertaining.
ESPN would run it late night, and I would sneak out of bed to go watch arena football. I don't know why.
Score update.
Like the Iowa Barnstormers or something? Or,
Yeah. I used to love that stuff.
I actually went to a game.
Did you?
The Cincinnati Rockers.
All right, so this is the climax, right? Golazo. This is what we wanted to get to. This is where Rob Stone laid out, sold out his body, nearly put in a side volley. Now we've got these guys, and really, it's just whatever you want to do. Rob, is that what I'm to understand here? Like it's
freelance, but again, like you are so at the mercy of the guy serving the ball to you. So obviously, you hope there was conversations like. You guys usually say, like, I want it low, I want it right about here, kind of just they would try to give you a window where to put it, but who knows what these guys want to do and who wants to go up high. I don't think, none of this was headers, right? This was all volley action.
Gotta be. I'm looking, okay, so we've heard that there are
Bryce
three
trying to do headers.
celebrity judges, but they haven't been identified unless you said their names, but they definitely weren't on screen at any point, right? So we don't know.
Why I thought there were judges, but you're right, there's no reason for a judge unless it's
No,
for
there's judges. I don't remember. I think they hold up numbers, Rob. I think they do.
I thought so too, and maybe it's just for this part.
Okay, so that's Jaime missing on some sort of half volley. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and this is.
It's got to be a long line. I'm only asking Cienfuegos or Durrell Diaz Arce to serve me balls.
No,
here.
Preki. They did this in Orlando
Yeah,
last
there you
year.
go. There's some scores.
Yeah, I don't know who these people are. Is one of them Mia Hamm? No, I don't know.
Looks like
I think that's maybe a Brandy Chastain.
Oh yeah, no, you're
Oh,
right.
Brandy
It is.
Chastain.
No, Tiffany Wilbritt.
Oh yeah, okay, Tiffany.
Oh,
Wilbur.
yeah, it's
Oh
Wilbur.
my gosh,
Oh,
it's
Mario Lopez. Tiffany Wilbritt. And who's on the far left?
I don't know.
Is that Rongan?
It is Rongan. You're right. What a motley crew that is.
Was it Rongan? I'm not sure that's Rongan.
No, I
I gotta
think-
look at that one again.
I
That
think
hair
it
looked
was.
kind of reddish. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost.
Ray Hudson?
No, that's Rongan
No.
for sure. It is.
Oh,
It's
definitely
Rongan.
Rongan.
That is Rongan. That is
Yeah.
Rongan. Good.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Oh my God, they have to flip through these things.
There's your answers.
Wow, Mario Lopez. This is college years or later, Jared, in terms of Saved by the Bell.
98? I think that's college years. because
College
they're
years?
pretty close to our age.
Pretty funny. And then I don't know what this hat was that Jaime was wearing the whole time, but he liked to put it on right after. All right, here we go. Let's see what else we got here. Again, the rolled down socks is one of the best parts of this.
Highest score is 16, and that's what we'll go
Look at the
back
guy
to.
wearing pants. Wow.
Remember the roll down socks is the Florida effect, right? You want to
Yeah,
have
oh,
a
yeah.
nice tan.
Wow, he
You
okay.
don't want stock tan. You want to get it nice and low.
Oh, gee. Sorry.
Are you ahead again? Don't do
You keep
that.
pausing.
I know I paused because I want to make sure we have a chance to kind of set this up with the guy who was on the scene in Orlando at the Wild World of Sports, rocking his ESPN polo with his Nike
Right.
shorts.
And my watch.
Yeah, Brian McBride. Oh, that's a nice effort. That's what you were oohing, right, Jared? The almost overhead kick, not quite. Oh, 8s from the judges. Wow, that's it. Very, very generous, I think.
I'll give 8s. Okay. And there it is. And here comes
You want Brian McBride serving this up for you? Would that be who you choose?
No.
Now this is not one of the years with the fastest player, right? Because I know Donovan won one of those, right?
Yeah,
So that's not like a San Jose All-Star Skills Challenge for some
Okay,
reason.
okay, but I mean, we don't get any. So Donovan wasn't around yet. Who else? Yeah, we're a couple years. We're what?
is it 97 was the U17? Or
No, 99.
17 were-
I think it was 99. So I think he's a couple years away from entering the league.
Ravelli still thinks he's getting bonus points for these saves, Rob. That's why.
They do this in Sweden during the summer months. Did you know that? Yes, they do.
This is Adrian Paz. Oh, serving it up. Who's? It's Paz from.
There he goes.
That's a horrible
Get
it there.
in Fuegos.
Yeah, what's up with that? That's your boy, Jared? Come get your boy. What's going on with him?
Boy, man, I'm kind of like.
There's
Shout out to the Diadora boots on. Got the Diadora.
So wait, hold on. Are you allowed to pass on this service? You're allowed to say, nope, that's not what I want. Like a batting practice pitcher. That's a ball. I don't want to swing at it in the home run derby. You're allowed to pass, right?
It seems rational, right?
Yeah. But I guess if you're going to commit, you got to commit.
Ooh, that was a good ball.
The first one did not count because he did not elect to strike it, so that went in the books as a big 0. His third attempt.
Oh no!
That's messed up. If the Fuegos just sacked him.
Yeah, if the ball comes in bad, you have to attempt it or get a 0. That's terrible. I'm going to have to take this up with the rules committee retroactively. Good at asterisk.
The goalie had to start with his back to the shooter.
That's wild too.
With the shooter, some type of advantage. I think, yeah, but it's not much of an advantage, is it?
Oh, Ravelli with the fingertip save on a bouncing attempt.
Thomas, well done, Thomas.
Yes.
Tampa Bay Mutiny keeper backtracking very nicely to catch up.
Yeah, I can only imagine like
20 points.
Like Bruce or any number of coaches at that time watching this going, what is happening? Why are they doing this? Guy's going to land on his shoulder, separate it, be out for a month.
Ravelli looks like he just came fresh off the boat like the Northwestern on Deadliest Catch.
He does. He just got a load of Dungeness crab. Whatever it is.
Thomas Rongen, I tell you, he is very difficult. He's giving out 5.
Hair curtains definitely in play here.
I'm not going to lie. I wish I had the hair I could have pulled that off in the 90s.
I never had it either. I had too much loft, too much upward motion.
Remember, Ravelli had a really good World Cup in '98, and so he was a big signing for MLS right on the heels of that World Cup. He had a great personality, spoke English. He was a nice little kid. I remember I was in Tampa. I had just left Tampa at that point. They were fired up to have him. He had Frankie Haydick flying around.
Yeah.
This would have been a month.
Good World Cup.
Wait, that was
This would have been just a month after that World Cup.
And you said Ralston was in Tampa. That was his first year in Tampa. Was '98? Was that right?
Was rookie 96.
Ralston, yeah.
Rookie of the year in 96.
Correct.
Oh, okay, 96. Okay. So he was already gone by '98.
No, Ralston had a nice long run in Tampa.
Okay.
So I feel like he was there until they disbanded.
Until they ended. Okay.
Almost. Did he have a New England? He did have a New England run, didn't he?
Yeah, he was there when the Dempsey, Twellman.
He got to New England in
late.
Pat Noonan, that's another player people just don't know about these days.
Agreed.
Super good.
And third as of now.
And Andy Dorman, oh my God.
Andy Dorman, yeah.
Andy Dorman, that dude was so
He was pretty good.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not flashy, but like just for what he was asked to do.
Well, that was what everything was from '96 to '08 was non-flashy.
Non-flashy.
Yeah, there was and that's why Roy Lassiter stood out, Jared, because he had.
I was like, you better not say that when Roy Lassiter's on the screen.
So Ralston stayed in Tampa until they disbanded, and then he went to New England after that. What'd I miss? McBride?
Yeah.
I'll say Tiffany Mildred's been soft on the score. She's giving it up a little too easy on the 8s.
Brian McBride, the individual winner of the Palazzo.
28 points for Brian McBride on his way to European stardom.
That's an all-American player.
That's good. That's full contact. Yep.
Good landing too. O'Brien is
separated his shoulder and his elbow.
But the hair still looks
didn't
good.
Matter. Like you can imagine a 20-something Robert Redford playing Brian McBride in the biopic.
Did you just how would that? So you're saying
age didn't matter? Like if you could pick Robert Redford in his 20s, like that would be the perfect Brian McBride.
Okay. Do you want to listen to Brian, current general manager of the U.S. Soccer, talk about?
And I think this ground's a little softer than some elbows and some heads that I've hit, so I wasn't worried about that.
I was on the bench talking to some of the players, and they said that the hitting of the head on you might actually do you some good in the IQ department.
Yeah, they took a CAT scan on me after I got a concussion. And
did they find anything?
No, that was a problem.
Guys are just doing bits.
It's like a slam dunk competition, so I guess
remember when concussions were funny?
Michael Jordan.
Right. Remember when getting a CAT scan was a reason to set up a joke? Wow.
There's the winning kick.
Wow. It got saved, but it was a hell of an effort.
So who won? Did USA or the world win?
Well, Brian McBride won individually, Rob. And if I'm doing my math
He won
right,
this for the U.S. Yeah, come on, scoreboard. Let's get it going.
well, we've only got a couple minutes left here. There it is. The final score, USA 320 points, World 280 points. Again, very hard to follow exactly what the scoring system was, but congratulations to the USA, who would go on to win the game in Orlando.
It would be MLS if there wasn't a trophy for a meaningless game.
Look at that trophy. Well, they picked that up just before the broadcast. Wow, look at that. And presented to Roy. What did Roy do?
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember him doing anything.
He was the captain of the team, but did he actually compete at all?
I don't see what he has to say.
My teammates are going to give the trophy MVP to Ross Pauly.
Ross Pauly, get Ross up here.
So here's the question: does Ross Pauly still have the trophy?
You've got to be just emotional right now.
Oh yeah, I'm about to cry. I mean, this is amazing. You know.
Seriously. I mean, I've got one question for you. What's with the hair?
You know, I'm not going to answer that. I'm not sure, so I'm not going to answer that.
Well, let's bring Preki in here. Preki.
Oh, Preki. Here we go.
You were showing us some left here. Can you give us take a seat? I don't know. Do it one more time real quick here. Can we get, yes, very nice. Either one, Preki. Because from what I hear, Preki is a god. So, and finally, last but not least.
Ross was the god today.
Excuse me?
He was the god today.
Let's get the man with the most.
It's unfortunate when you back in the days before, obviously, when men didn't know much about soccer.
Hold on. I'm gonna turn this down. I know we're showing legs here. What were you saying, Jared? Go ahead.
No, it's just like you hear him say, like, "I'm told you're a god." It's just like it's. Rob, I don't know, sure. You may remember who the gentleman was, but you probably just never really.
No, I do. From what I remember, he was brought into soccer, and it was pretty clear that he wanted to use soccer as a stepping stone to get out.
Yeah. Okay. Oh.
I not to be nasty, but I vividly remember that.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, look, he
was not around in the soccer circles very long.
Yeah, he was doing bits. His whole thing was setting up bits and making jokes, and I don't know.
It's a tough situation because it's a total loose, fun format, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't really know the guys, and a difficult situation. But so wait, why am I seeing Landon? Is this like the next show?
Yeah. So this video that our whoever our benefactor here is on the
benefactor.
Yeah, whoever put this on the internet, Rob. Also,
this is the next Skills, maybe.
This is the 2001
3 minutes or so of just the 2001. For some reason.
There's 50 minutes of 98. And 3 minutes of 2001 for no reason. Nobody can understand. We don't know.
Are we allowed to watch these 3 minutes?
Sure.
Yeah, you'll see Landon Donovan do the race.
Here's Landon Donovan's hair dye job that he had, by the way, since we were talking about it earlier. Look at how
this might have been the All-Star game. Wasn't the All-Star game where he busted out the sports bra?
Hold on.
Yeah. He took it off. That's me. I think that's me interviewing him.
It might be. We'll take a look, but that so Ross Pauly did it better. That is terrible. I mean, I don't know if Landon's watching. I don't know if Landon's following along what we're doing. If you are, Landon, I'm sorry. This is terrible.
Let's hope he's not.
I mean, at least
he's got better things to do in San Diego.
If you're gonna dye it, at least keep it really, really short, right? Like, well, I don't know what the length of this is. He seems in between. Like he's not committed to something. I'm very confused by that. But let's we'll watch and see what Landon does here.
Oh, Dave Durr! That was a Dave Durr sighting for a frame.
Yeah.
Skills challenge. It began
there's
with Arizona, the final. The East taking on the Central team of Dima Kovalenko and Brian McBride.
Now this one I can get behind. Yeah.
First touch of the
soccer
key
tennis.
Event,
Let's go.
Rob. Beautiful first touch by Kovalenko. Leaves them deep. They get the winning points.
Central out to an early lead.
Dima.
Next up, the youthful final, the fastest.
There you go.
DC Santino.
Santino Caranta.
Central and the West, Landon Donovan.
Dima fouled Santino and Landon during the race.
I can't believe they put Dima Kovalenko as one of the fastest. I never thought of him as fast.
And Landon got a bad start and still ends up winning.
Almost start, yeah.
He
was mugging at the camera.
Look at Landon Donovan with the extra gear we've seen all season.
Michael Irvin is pleaded guilty to felony cocaine possession, by the way, guys.
Is that in the bottom line?
Next up, the three.
Oh, and Run DMP there.
That time.
Do you see that? DeMarcus Beasley high-fiving Landon after that? Oh, Olympico challenge.
I think he wants me in the warm-up.
That's perfect.
I knew you were going to get that in somehow. Yes, Dave Durr nailed a couple of those.
Man.
John Spencer
Oh, John Spencer.
Found side netting there. And then Luis Hernandez in the chipping.
El Matador.
There he is. That's a haircut. Okay, that's timeless. Doesn't matter what
Before
era.
that, though, that was the Bulldog dude from England that played for Rapids. Who was that?
Well, John Spencer was. I think
John
they said
Spencer, that's
Yeah,
who it
well,
was.
John Spencer, who was later head coach of the Portland
That's what
Timbers.
it was.
Yes.
That's a hell of a save.
Four ways you can score in this event. You can volley it. You can
Cannon was really good at goalie wars, too.
Whoa,
Cannon.
wow, look at these guys laying out.
Twin brother in pro.
Woo! Wow. Goalie Wars,
Bring this
that's
back
legit.
now.
Bring it back. Somebody will throw out a shoulder, but bring it back.
Jolly?
Oh,
To win anything in the
73? Okay.
73 on his first attempt. He actually went for 75 on number 2.
One gun now.
Cannon here ties him at
Joe
75,
Cannon.
So they split the points. Next
Goalkeepers.
up, our final event,
I mean, even as a Galaxy fan, I love
Landon
Joe Cannon,
Donovan.
even though he's big for those plates.
This is see. Okay, look how they're setting the ball.
Yeah, see, this is the one that disintegrates.
Yes, but also they're setting the ball for him rather than that rolled nonsense
And it's
from
in the middle.
'98. Yeah, and like Jared said, you get a chance to tee it up.
Can't believe it. One more time.
Oh, he's so crushed by his failure to hit the target.
As they win
Hey, Marcelo.
There's Marcelo Balboa. Now, speaking of hair, guy hasn't changed his haircut in 30 years. 40 years, probably, at this point. All right, I don't know what's going to play next. We're going to probably not watch it. We've got to... There we go. Just some random shot. It looks like Abby Wambach after a game, and I think that's... Who is that?
Kate
Arlo
Margaret.
White? Arlo White, Kate Mark. Okay, anyway. That was fun.
Down a rabbit hole here. This is fun.
No, Rob, we didn't actually expect you to sit through all of that with us. We do appreciate you doing so, though. That was fantastic. Any closing thoughts here on 1998 as a year, or the Skills Challenge as a concept, or MLS at that point in time?
No, I'll comment on the Skills Challenge. I saw that it came back last year, and the fact that I was not invited to broadcast it
Travesty.
pissed me off, man. It really pissed
I
me
cried.
off.
I just assumed you were holding out because there's no goalie wars.
Yeah, I was really angry. I wanted to be a part of this. How was I not invited? This was a huge oversight. This was like one of my little bizarro babies that I don't talk about, but I still love and care.
Wait, so hold on. So it's Hambone and Skills Challenges. Those are
There
Rob?
you go. That's it. That's my career. Good night, everybody.
No, Rob, thank you so much for doing this, man. Obviously, the world is weird right now, and having a chance to have some fun and talk about old school MLS, what could be better than that?
There's so much good old school out there, so I'm glad you guys brought the focus on. And stay inside and be safe, guys. Can't wait for MLS to get back.
Jared, do you have any final thoughts you want to dish out here before we say goodbye?
Tons of props for Rob coming on.
Absolutely,
And, just
yeah.
fun times living a part of life that I remember watching. And, it's just funny. It's 25 years anniversary, and to go back and watch some of this stuff, for those of us that were there at the time, it's really interesting.
Okay, I want one question to close this out, including for Rob, especially for Rob, really. He's the guest of honor here. Okay, we know Goalie Wars is something everybody wants to bring back. Absolutely, we're on board with that. But something else from the 90s that you would want to see come back. If one of those things, hair curtains, dye
As a
jobs.
skills challenge?
No. I'm talking about anything. The baggy shorts that cut off 4 inches above the knee, the dye job, haircuts, the hair curtains. Anything, Jared. Zach Thornton, bring him back.
Having the players that were humble enough and so much like the fans at a level that you would have a beer with them in the parking lot.
Okay.
Like that.
All
like,
right.
There's just something about it. Granted, unprofessional as hell, but that's just something that was uniquely MLS in the 90s.
Now, you got very poignant with me. I was just trying to be funny about 90s culture.
Sorry,
but
you asked a question.
Yeah, Rob. Okay, fine. Nick, go ahead.
So I know, obviously, Major League Soccer has a deal with Adidas, so I think they should bring back the miter ball, though. Bring it back
Bring it back
they should
to
have
miter
brought it back
ball.
for this year. This would have been the year to do it. Probably hard to replicate and make these days, because I don't think miter's around anymore. But I would have made it a carbon copy of that ball. I know
Okay.
they tried to with the color scheme this year, but
All
the
right.
miter
So they
ball,
took
that thing was
took a
awesome.
whack at it, but it came up short. Rob, do you have anything you want to bring back from 1998?
I'd like to bring back grunge music. I still miss it. I
Okay.
still listen to it a lot. I think I'd like to bring back maybe some of that blue collar mentality from the American soccer player.
There you go.
And our national team.
I agree.
I used to just love watching the red, white, and blue, and I knew that we were some tough SOBs and pains in the ass to play against, and whether we won or not, the opposition and the fans had ultimate respect for what the U.S. put out there. And I'd like to see us maybe return a little bit back to that and be a tough team to play against and get some real positive wins. I want to see I love where MLS is trending right now, but I want to see our national team kind of get on board and get that mojo back.
I may have just messed up our broadcast, but that's okay. We're done here anyway. The audio will be out on all the feeds and stuff if anybody wants to listen back. Rob, thank you very much for coming by. Jared, as always, my friend, good to talk to you. Nikki Soup and Sausage, thank you for your work as always. All right, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for being with us during the Quarantine Series Watch Along 1998 MLS All-Star Skills Challenge.